Welcome, dear friends, to Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with the laws of love. The laws of love is this beautiful book, short, very thin, questions and answers, one spirit, two mediums, and a message that is immortalized, that we can carry to immortality. Everything we're learning here together is going to be used for immortality. It's not something only for one life. Wherever we are in the universe, we're talking about the laws of God, the laws of love, justice with love and charity. In the eyes of God, we learn with the superior spirits, there is no justice without love and charity. So when you and I feel guilty, feel embarrassed, feel things that are not too good, remember, you're not being punished. God doesn't punish anyone. He invites us to renewal. Think of a tree that needs to be pruned to grow stronger. We go through our pruning times, not only in one life, but in lives in our immortality. You and I are studying this book, The Spiritist View on Suffering. It's an educational booklet. And you and I are learning here how important it is to understand the laws, to comply, to live better. We already discussed about the spiritual um, causes of illnesses, chapter 1. We've studied chapter 7, the treatment of illnesses and how spiritism can help. And now we are in chapter 5. We're bringing each chapter. Chapter 5 is about spiritual illness. The illness is obsession. Today, we're going to study one question, one answer. But it's so deep, so powerful, so concentrated that we need time to digest. It's about unhealthy feelings and personality imbalances or disturbances. Are you ready? Ready? So let's go together. This question is question 13 of chapter 5 of the book Laws of Love. And there's a question that was asked to Emmanuel, and he answered. What is the relationship between unhealthy feelings and disturbances of personality or imbalances of personality? What is it, the relationship? Can we have a balanced life with unhealthy thoughts and feelings? No. So here we're talking about feelings, which means things that we have already established in us as habits as well. What kinds of unhealthy feelings are they? Let's see the answer. It's just one sentence, but it's very deep. And you and I can dissect together as if we were entering our brain and dissecting it. The answer by Emmanuel. Question again. If you entered the program right now, what is the relationship between our unhealthy feelings and personality disturbances? All of the manifestations of unhealthy feelings, being them slander, calumny, which are kind of the same, wrath, anger, jealousy, censorship, meaning judgmental judgments, right? Sarcasm, intemperance, and licentiousness. They all establish a spontaneous communication with the powers that represent them in the inferior circles of nature, creating disharmonies and illnesses, leading us to phobias, fixations, imbalances, and psychosis, evolving to a well-established mental alienation. So when we talk about somebody who already has personality disturbances, this is the aftermath of the cultivation of feelings that are not healthy and spiritual networks that reinforce that negativity. So if I get together, there are many people who say, but Vanessa, I'm not going to get a promotion if I am not in the gossip mill. Okay. And you think by being the gossip mill, you're going to get a promotion, not only in the material realm, but you're going to get a promotion in the connections in the spiritual realm with spirits of low order who are experts in gossiping. The consequence of it cannot be good. It creates disharmonies, illnesses, leading us to fears, phobias, single ideations, fixations, imbalances, psychosis, leading us to complete madness, to a well-established mental illness. So when we see it, the root is there in feelings that are distorted. So we need to help our children. When they're little, sometimes they are funny, right? We need to observe what we teach them, but also see how they bring their own content. Because we see in our children, like for example, jealousy. Help them. Because in jealousy, we make spiritual connections, law of the mental field. And if they cultivate those connections in teenage years, things are not going to be good. So when we see pathological cases of anxiety, depression, ADHD, and many problems, it's a consequence of these feelings. You may be asking, Vanessa, can you write it down? Of course. Here I am, going to write in our whiteboard because this is a classroom, Kardec Radio's classroom at 11 p.m. Here we are, right? Talking to you, and this is the board. So let's write on the board. If you're listening to this, just remember, visualize it. What kinds of feelings again that lead us into that disaster? So let's write the consequences. So here we have unhealthy feelings, such as, first thing he says, slander. Oh my, calumny. When people say, oh, I don't know, I've heard. Somebody's told me, oh, Vanessa, when X person was divorcing, somebody called me and told me that this person divorced because of this, that, and the other. And then I asked, did you ask the person since you know the one who's divorced? No. So you believed it and then you called other people and start passing on to others? What is it called? Slander. Oh, but I'm just saying what they told me. Oh, so we're not responsible for what we're doing. If somebody made a mistake, we perpetuate the mistake and we think we're not responsible. Let's verify. Because if we pass, oh, Bill Gates is this, please. Let's not go into the slander mill. Oh, but the newspapers are saying, let the newspapers do their job. Because we are not journalists. And if we were, we need to be journalists of the truth, but not to judge. Because we see being judgmental is a defect. Is, right? When we say, oh, they shouldn't have done it. When we think that we're better than others. And when we go through what he says here is sarcasm. Unfortunately, many channels of comedy show is now so sour, so sarcastic, sometimes even bitter. What kinds of spirits we're going to attract? Healthy spirits? Without. Not at all. So here we have our, I'm just fixing here for you. And then what else? Don't be in a hurry. If you are, no, that's okay. It's a break from everything. And then we have intemperance. Yes, we have there intemperance. So we need to teach our children to be tempered and jealousy. And what else? Let me just remind myself here. He says, what else? He says, licentiousness. Let me get, I know you know the meaning, licentiousness, which means, in other words, and let me get it here for you, in other words, licentiousness for us, yeah, we're dancing here on the web, licentiousness, it's it's as if we say, it's like being morally indisciplined, lacking willpower, but promiscuous in terms of sexuality. So it's when we watch porn, when we like seeing, when we like sensuality, yeah, we don't teach people to dress up, but we should. When I was younger, I wasn't aware of many things, because in Brazil, you are allowed, because of the weather, to use many things that are short and tight. Coming to the US, you become more fully aware that, of course, the weather's changed, etc., but then you start having more body awareness to understand that this is an instrument and I need to use it but not abuse it with the games of power. Even flirtations, they pertain to this. And in the book, In the Domains of Mediumship, we're going to see Andre Lewis teaching us about what? Flirtation. He shows to us that the man flirted in the street with two women when he went to sleep. He just exchanged eye contact, but smiling, but it was in his mind, it was in their minds. When he slept, where were the women? Right in his bedroom. Oh, but he didn't have the address. That's what we think, right? Food for thought. So in these unhealthy feelings, inevitably, we will lead ourselves into what? Into what Emmanuel says. We're going to, from feelings, make connections of inferior order with incarnates and discarnates. He doesn't say discarnates only, right? Because when we connect with channels of sensuality, sexuality, porn, or addictions of all terms, you connect with the people here, And then soon after, it's going to lead us into what? Imbalances, disharmony. Let me change the size. Disharmony, illnesses, imbalances, and even psychosis. Sorry, friends. And all of it will lead us into what we call declared, he says. Declared. He says declared mental illness. So when our dear Emmanuel is telling us that our feelings that are not healthy will lead us into this cascade of events, he's saying, let us learn to feel. And then you may ask, do I choose what I feel, Vanessa? Remember, even if you feel things out of conditioning, now, at this moment, you can say, I want to move to another level. So a great friend of mine gave me this, and I'll give you, there are so many cards of affirmation online. Encourage and inspire, 110 messages, 101 blessings. This is just an example. And then I go there. Let's say I'm not feeling well. I go there and read a message. You have been set free. It's in Romans. It's a quotation from the Bible, but it's an affirmation. And I'm like, oh, I can free myself from this. So in the next 24 hours, you and I are invited to change these feelings. If we're being judgmental, let's pray and say, breathe in and out, and I say, I want to change this feeling. Sarcastic. If we're feeling like slandering, gossiping, if we're feeling intemperate, meaning not moderating things, going from extreme to extreme, or jealous, or sexually imbalanced, let's find a way to get out of it. Let's find a way. One way is an affirmation. Another way is a visualization. So for those who are here, the proposal is this. Feel any feeling in the next 24 hours, which is possible. In this list, slander, calumny, being judgmental, sarcastic, intemperate, jealous, and, sexually imbalanced. What do you do? Okay, let's go together. I'm going to open a page to you. The Spirit inside of Virginia has a page. I'll show it to you. This is the page. 1 second. This is the page. Okay. And here we are. ssvirginia.org, there is a COVID-19 spiritual aid kit, but actually it serves so many purposes. We have passes and prayers. You just click and go even Jesus Healing Touch, Lavender Healing, Divine Physician, Healing Doctors Visit You, Self-Forgiveness, Morning Prayers, Daily Prayers, Healing Affirmations. You click and you see an affirmation. I am a beloved child of God. His healing envelops me completely, and I go to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Okay? So this is the proposal. We need to learn how to manage these emotions, these feelings, substituting them for healthier feelings. Thus, we're going to be cutting those habits with those minds, incarnates and discarnates, who are the same. And then it's going to lead us into mental balance, or the opposite, mental imbalance, if we don't take care of it. When people say, oh, but I like talking to my sister, my brother, my friend about things and about people. Okay, if you like slandering. No, we're just talking about what? About other people, like you see, you saw, oh my gosh, oh. That is not going to help. Physicians, when they get together to talk about a patient's case, they're not gossiping. They're treating. The same for psychologists. It's educators. When educators get together to talk about students and see how they can change. But the way we talk about is the difference. So you and I are being asked today to tame those feelings so we can have a better mental balance, a better quality of life, because everything comes from the mind. What a feeling, right? What a feeling. We want to feel happy feelings, substituting unhealthy ones for healthy ones, and thus making better connections. By making better connections, we balance ourselves. Thank you, God. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Chico, Xavier, and Waldo Vieira. Thank you, friends, for being here at Cardiac Radio once again. We wish you lots of blessings, and until tomorrow, God willing.